Hello students, today we shall continue with design of rolling contact bearings. So we'll start with the rating life of bearings. So the rating life of a group of identical ball bearings is defined as the number of revolutions that 90% of bearings will complete or exceed before any indication of failure occurs. Now basically bearings are rated on two different criteria. The first way to define the life of bearings is the average life of a group of bearings. Now suppose there are 10 bearings, and if we find the life of each of these bearings, then we can just sum up the lives of all individual bearings and divide by 10. So that will be the average life of a group of bearings. Or there is another approach, the life which 90% of the bearings will reach or exceed. Now this second criterion is widely used in bearing industry. Now let us see what exactly it says. Now suppose we put 100 bearings on a test, and once we start the test, what will happen? After some time one of the bearings will fail, then after some time another bearing will fail, and this phenomena will continue. Now when the 10th bearing fails, then at that point of time the number of revolutions or hours left is to be recorded. Now these figures recorded give the rating life of the bearings, or simply the L10 life, which we call L10 life, and that indicates 10% failures. Similarly, L50 means 50% bearings are operational, means 50% have failed. Now here we can see 100 bearings are put into test, 10 have failed. So when 10 have failed means 90 are operational. So corresponding life we call it as L10 life. Now here 50 bearings have failed and 50 are operational. Corresponding life we call it as L50, or which is also called as a median life. Now, while selecting a bearing, we need to specify expected life of the bearing for a given application. So bearings are normally used for various applications, like in automotive industry they are used in a wide scale. Similarly in industrial applications, all machinery they use the bearings. So while selecting a bearing, we need to decide on the what is the design life or expected life of a bearing. So here are some guidelines for selecting the life. Say for automotive cars, the life is 50 million revolutions, or for trucks it is 100, trolley cars it is 500, railroad cars it is 1000. Similarly for industrial applications, the machines which are used intermittently, the bearing life is 4000 to 8000 hours. For machines used for 8 hours of service per day, the life is 12,000 to 20,000 hours. And for machines used for continuous operations, the expected life to be specified is 40,000 to 60,000 hours. Now in addition to this, in certain applications we have to consider the effect of additional dynamic load. So to take the effect of this additional load into account, we will be using a load factor. So for gear drives, the rotating machines free from impact, the load factor is in the range of 1.2 to 1.4. Then reciprocating machines like internal combustion engines and compressor, the load factor is 1.4 to 1.7. Now impact machines like hammer mills, it is 2.5 to 3.5. And for belt drive, V belt it is 2, single ply leather belt it is 3, and double ply leather belts it is 3.5. Similarly for chain drives it is 1.5. Now coming to the dynamic load carrying capacity. Yesterday we have seen the static load carrying capacity, the load acting on a bearing when the shaft is stationary. And this dynamic load carrying capacity of a bearing, if you want to define, then it is the radial load in case of radial bearings or thrust load in case of thrust bearings that can be carried for a minimum life of 1 million revolutions. So for a given bearing, suppose dynamic load carrying capacity is 5000 newtons, then what is specified is that given bearing will carry that 5000 newtons for a minimum life of 1 million revolutions. So that capacity we call it as dynamic load carrying capacity. The minimum life in the definition is again L10 life, which we have seen, wherein 90% of bearings will reach that life before the failure. Now coming to equivalent bearing load. Now we know in case of bearings, the load may act either in radial direction or in axial direction, or there may be a combination of loads. So there can be a radial load as well as there can be axial load. So while designing, what we need to do is we need to find out an equivalent bearing load. So here is the equation for that. The equivalent bearing load P, which is also called as equivalent dynamic load Newton in newtons, is given by x into v into fr plus y into fa, where fr is the radial load in newtons, fa is the axial or thrust load, and v is the race rotation factor. Now this x and y factors are called as radial and thrust factors, and their values are given in manufacturer's catalog, and we need to select these values from a standard table. Now phi, which is called as race rotation factor, is 1 when the inner race rotates while the outer race is held stationary. Similarly, v is 1.2 when outer race rotates with respect to load while the inner race remains stationary. So using this equation, we can estimate the equivalent dynamic load, or which is also called as equivalent bearing load. Now the relationship between the dynamic load carrying capacity, the equivalent dynamic load, and bearing life is given by this equation. So L10 is given by C by P raised to P. So L10 is rated bearing life in million revolutions. C is dynamic load capacity in newtons. Now this small p is 3 for ball bearings and 10 by 3 for roller bearings. Now rearranging, what we get, if we write this equation in terms of C, it is P into L10 raised to 1 by P. So for all types of ball bearings, C becomes P into L10 raised to 1 by P. Substituting P as 3 for ball bearings, it is 1 by 3. And for all types of roller bearings, C is equal to P into L10 raised to 0.3, where substituting the small p by 10 by 3. Now another important relation between life in million revolutions and life in working hours is L10 is 60 into N into L10 H divided by 10 raised to 6. So L10 H, so this life is in hours and this life is in million revolutions. So you can use this equation to find out the bearing life in million revolutions, or we can find out in terms of hours, and where N is the speed of rotation. Now this is very important, selection of bearing from manufacturer's catalog. Now as we know, bearing is a standard element, so all bearings are manufactured as a standard components, and we need to select these components from manufacturer's catalog. So it is a 7-step procedure. So in first step, what we have to do is we have to calculate the radial and axial forces acting on the bearing, and we have to determine the diameter of the shaft where the bearing is to be fitted. Now next step, we have to select the type of bearing for a given application. So while starting only, we have to make a choice of the type of bearing. Then in third step, we need to determine the values of x and y, the radial and thrust factors, from the catalog. Now the values of x and y factors for single row deep groove ball bearing are given in this table. So this value of x and y, they basically depend upon two factors. One is Fa by C naught and another ratio is Fa by Fr. So based on these two ratios, we can select the value of x and y. Now in next step, once we get the values of x and y, we need to calculate the equivalent dynamic load using the equation P is xFR plus yFA, assuming V is equal to 1. Now in next step, we have to make decision about the expected bearing life, and we have to express the life L10 in million revolutions using the equation. In next step, we need to calculate the dynamic load carrying capacity using equation, say LC is equal to P into L10 raised to 1 by 3. Now this equation is going to give us the dynamic load carrying capacity. Now we have to check whether the selected bearing in step 2 has the required dynamic capacity. If not, what we have to do, we have to select the bearing of next series, then we have to come back to step 3 and we have to repeat this until the selected bearing has the required dynamic load carrying capacity. So this is the standard procedure of selecting bearing from manufacturer's catalog. So this will be made more clear, or you will get more insight into it when we will discuss one numerical at the end of this session. Now here I have shown a snapshot from a manufacturer's catalog. So this catalog looks like this. So dimensions and static and dynamic load capacities of single row deep groove ball bearing. So here these are the principal dimensions of bearings. So D, inner diameter of bearing, capital D, outer diameter of bearing, and B is the axial width of the bearing. C is the dynamic load carrying capacity, and C0 is the static load carrying capacity. Now for shaft diameter or bearing inner diameter of 70 mm, these are the choices available. Similarly for 75 mm, these are the choices available, and this is the standard designation of the bearing. So this is one important thing we need to understand, how bearings are designated. So here in the designation, the last two digits, they indicate bore diameter divided by 5. So 70 divided by 5 is 14. So if we multiply 14 by 5, we will get the diameter, shaft diameter. Now the third digit, say this digit, say this indicates the series of bearing. Now there are different series. Say if digit is 1, it is extra light series, 2 it is light series, 3 it is medium series, and 4 it is heavy series. And fourth and sometimes fifth digit from the right, they indicate the type of rolling contact bearing. So this is a standard designation which is used in case of rolling contact bearings. Now we will discuss one example. A single row deep groove ball bearing is subjected to a radial load of 8 kilonewtons and a thrust load of 3 kilonewtons. The shaft rotates at 1200 rpm. The expected life of bearing is 20,000 hours. The minimum acceptable diameter of shaft is 75 mm. So we have to select a suitable ball bearing for this application. So given data, the load acting radial load is there as well as axial load is there, 8 kilonewton, 3 kilonewton. The expected bearing life is 20,000 hours. Speed of rotation is 1200 rpm and shaft diameter is 75 mm. Now when the bearing is subjected to radial as well as axial load, we need the values of x and y factors to be obtained from the table that we have seen in the previous two slides. The values of x are constant and values of y vary only in this case, that Fa by Fr is greater than E. So Fa by Fr is greater than E, then only the value of y varies. X is again constant, 0.56 everywhere. Y varies from say 2 to 1. Now to start with, what we'll do, we'll assume some value of x, say x is same everywhere, 0.56, so we'll assume x as 0.56. Now if we look at the table, value of y varies, just now we have seen, from 1 to 2. So what we'll do to start with, we'll take an average. So let us take an value 1.5. So X is 0.56, Y is 1.5, FR is 8000, FA is 3000. So let us use this equation XFR plus YFA. So we get the equivalent dynamic load or equivalent bearing load as 8980 newtons. Now expected bearing life is 20,000 hours, so we need to convert this into million revolutions. So let us use this equation and we get L10 as 1440 million revolutions. Now we have this equation for dynamic load carrying capacity. C is equal to P into L10 raised to 1 by 3. So we know P, we know L10, 1 by 3. So we get 101406 newtons. Now for the shaft diameter of 75 mm diameter, we need to select a bearing. So we'll go back to this manufacturer's catalog. So 75 mm, and we need the dynamic load carrying capacity 101 something. So this is suitable bearing 6315. So bearing number 6315 with dynamic load carrying capacity 112000 newtons and static load carrying capacity 72,000. We'll select this bearing. So for shaft diameter of 75 mm diameter, bearing number 6315 is suitable. So for this bearing, the static load carrying capacity is 72,000 newtons. So we need to check our assumption, or we have to check the corrected dynamic load carrying capacity and whether it is less than 1,12,000. So FA by FR 3000 by 8000 0.375, FA by C naught is 0.04167. Now referring to the table, so FA by FR is 0.375. So 0.375 so the value of E is approximately 0.24. So and FA by FR is greater than this E. So we need to find the value of Y using linear interpolation. So we get X is 0.56 and value of Y is 1.79. Now the corrected dynamic load capacity is XFR plus YFA. So 0.56 into 8000 plus 1.79 into 3000, so 9850. So C is 111230. Now this has capacity of 112000. Now as this is higher, the selected bearing is suitable for this application. Now we have selected bearing number 6315. So type of bearing is single row deep groove ball bearing, 3 is medium series bearing, and 15 is diameter of shaft it indicates multiplied by 5, so it is 75 millimeters. So I hope we understood this procedure of selecting the bearing from manufacturer's catalog. Thank you.